Finally, darkness has fallen.
We have secrecy for plotting and scheme.
Oh wait, are we plotting or scheming?
I'm not sure. What does that think? Are we plotting or scheming?
Mostly scheming, but with a healthy lashing of plotting.
Okay, good. Now let's get on with our scheming and plotting.
I think we should say plotting, scheming. It sounds better. It's not nothing.
Better and more nefarious.
What's nefarious?
I have no idea.
Our plotting and scheming is nefarious, of course.
So we're mostly plotting, but with a healthy dose of scheming, and we're also nefariousing?
Right.
I understand completely now.
My contacts tell me to expect travelers through these woods in the morning.
Travelers with deep pockets.
And their party is reportedly quite small.
Easy prey then.
Shall we follow our usual order of business?
It's never failed us in the past.
I'll place a fallen log in the path.
No, I'll shout the usual.
And 9 part?
No, really, dost thou remember what thou hast to do?
Oh. I take their purses.
Right.
Let's hide ourselves until the moment is right.
Our good fortune awaits.
Good morning, Your Majesty. It's a lovely day, Your Eminence. Beloved Queen, a full schedule of important matters of state await your magisterial wisdom. Your Majesty. Queen Elizabeth. Queen Bess!
Who dares rouse the slumbering lion?
Your Majesty, I meant no disrespect.
You asked to be awoken before the sunrise, Queen. You asked us not to allow you to stay asleep. Do you imply that I am a slug-a-bed?
Not at all, Your Majesty. She simply meant this. The court requires your regal presence forthwith.
It does it not?
Yes, of course, Your Majesty.
What is that noise I hear?
Someone is in the chapel, playing the organ, my queen.
I see. And what is the business of the court today?
I shall summon the Major Domo to give you a full report, Your Majesty.
It's a lovely day, Your Majesty. The little larks are sweetly chirping. I hope that you jump well, Queen Elizabeth. I've heard that a Midsummer Night's Dream is usually a pleasant one, in which, oh look, the Major Domo has arrived.
Ah, Your Majesty, the day shines brighter because of your presence.
Naturally. What matters stand before the court today, Major Domo?
The matter, Your Majesty, is of the Lady Countess de Winter.
Ah, yes. We must hear the Countess de Winter's tale. I sorrow that this day is necessary, but we must do something about the rumors we have heard.
Yes, Your Majesty, such rebellion cannot go unchecked.
She that I once counted as my closest friend may be mine enemy.
It is a sad day, Your Majesty.
But I am a queen before I am a friend.
And a wise one, Your Eminence.
Enough of this maudlin talk.
Of course. What then shall the Queen attire herself today?
What would you recommend for this sad and momentous day?
Your Majesty may want to mirror the ermine portrait in which you appear as the symbol of peace and prosperity. Your sword is beside you, ready at hand, but laid aside to symbolize that violence has left the nation. The black velvet and delicate lace emphasize your chastity and purity, and the black pearls and heavy gold confirm your wealth and economic acumen. The white ermine looks to you with adulation, because you are the ruler of the lands beyond the sea too, and its color of gold emphasizes the wealth you have brought to the new world.
And my other options?
Next we have Elizabeth and the three goddesses. Your Majesty is in the position of Paris and the Golden Apple. Her Majesty is to present a globe to one of three goddesses: Minerva, goddess of wisdom; Juno, goddess of war; and Venus, goddess of beauty. Your wisdom, power, and beauty outshines all three, however, and the goddesses fall back before your Majesty. The crown is on your head, and the globe is in your hand.
I see. And the last?
Ah, the rainbow portrait. This look embodies your Majesty's youth, wisdom, and goodness. The pearls emphasize your wealth and purity, as do the lace ruff and cloak. The snake embroidered on the sleeve portrays your intelligence and cunning. And the eyes and ears decorating the silk skirt demonstrate that you see and hear all in the kingdom. And the delicate flowers on the bodice reveal your eternal youth and beauty. You are holding a rainbow because you are the sun that makes that rainbow possible. What shall your Majesty choose?
Well, I do appreciate the power and peace of the ermine portrait, but then I have to be accompanied by that little rat. Besides, don't you think that black makes me look somewhat pale?
As your Majesty wishes.
And as for the portrait of the three goddesses, where shall I find three goddesses? I think not. It must be the rainbow portrait. I need all my wits about me today as I hear testimony about the Countess de Winter. All will see my serious intent, and of course, my girlish youth when I am in this attire.
Are you sure, Your Majesty?
Are you sure you don't want the portrait of the three goddesses?
I have heard they're in high demand.
They? They are in high demand? Well, then I have clearly made the right decision with the rainbow portrait.
Enough. Her Majesty's decisions are not to be questioned.
Go and prepare the court for my arrival, Major Domo. My attendant shall dress me in haste.
Your Majesty.
Dress me as quick as you can. Take only a few hours. I must be at the court before the midday repast.
We are almost in London, but we must hurry.
Can we not rest for a moment here in this dark and mysterious forest?
I fear not. I've heard that these woods are the haven of highwaymen.
What?
Footpads.
Pardon me? Cutpurses? Please explain.
Ne'er-do-wells. And those are brigands?
You've lost me.
Thieves. Bad guys.
Oh, yes, of course. But can we not defend ourselves against all attacks?
Although I fear no man, I would not like to expend all my energy before we reach our destination. Today, I need all my wits about me.
Are these the ones? They must be.
Ooh, those men look rich.
Art thou sure?
They definitely look rich.
No, I mean, art thou sure they're men? They're wearing breeches, of course they're men.
And no woman would wear a sword or boots.
But what if they are women? I cannot attack a woman. What of it? They look weak. What do we do now?
You know what? It is the 12th night that we've waited in vain for easy prey.
They have money as good as any man's. Thou art making much ado about nothing.
I don't like it, but as you wish. Stand and deliver!
Wait, I haven't pushed over the fallen log yet.
This is a comedy of errors.
Margaret, footpads approach!
Footpads? We are not footpads.
I don't even know what that is.
We're footpads.
That means highwaymen.
No, he means cut persons.
No, brigands.
I thought we were calling ourselves ne'er-do-wells these days.
We're thieves.
Right. Hand us your purses.
And your rings.
And any jewels.
We're not picky. We'll take anything and everything valuable.
We shall defend ourselves against you, charlatan.
You should know you're attacking. My mistress, master, is a very important man. Good friends with Shush.
We will speak with our swords and meet their attack, measure for measure.
Heard enough. Have at these wretches.
What do we do with these thieves?
We shall bring them to the nearest magistrate. They cannot be allowed to continue to infest these woods any longer. Our actions this day shall resound throughout the land. And a clarion call of peace, security, and retribution. Only justice shall be allowed to reign in this hallowed isle, this favored land, this blessed nation. Oh, justice! How you've been trampled in these latter days, how your straight paths have been made crooked, your sweet taste made bitter. I shall give you my strength, my mind, my breath, my arm, to your perfect cause.
Master,
What is it?
I'm terribly sorry to interrupt, but could I beg your assistance? This one is proving recalcitrant.
Now onward, first to the magistrate and thence to London.
We must hurry. I fear that a storm approaches this evening.
Do not fear the tempest. We shall see justice served before all else.
Your Majesty, your court is the delight of Europe. Already today you've heard from foreign envoys, from heads of the church, and even from the mayor of London. You certainly displayed your regal acumen when you handled those last visitors, those brothers from Italy.
Those two lords?
Yes, those two noble kinsmen, the two gentlemen of Verona.
I had forgotten about those minor two already. In truth, other matters of state occupy my royal mind today. Major Domo, who else presents himself to court today?
You have but one matter remaining, Your Majesty, that of the Lady Countess de Winter.
Ah, yes, the Countess. Indeed, I must act quickly and decisively in that matter. But I must first have knowledge. Thou hast summoned certain citizens to testify, her neighbors, her priests, and her business associates?
I have your evidence.
Then we shall proceed. But first, who is playing in the chapel today? That musical twanging has offended my ears since this morning.
It is Dr. Christopher Tye,
Then go and tell Dr. Tye that his playing is out of tune. We shall await thy return. Well,
Yes, Your Majesty?
didst thou deliver my message?
I did, Your Majesty.
And
Yes, Your Majesty.
how did he respond?
Begging Your Majesty's pardon, but he said, Your Majesty's ears are out of tune.
We are amused. Summon Dr. Tye.
Your Majesty. I hear my playing offends you. Perhaps my love's labors are lost on your ears.
Do not try my patience, Dr. Tye. Thy impudence amuses me today, but perhaps I shall not be so lenient in the future. Who are these rascals with thee?
A few musician friends are visiting me today.
Good Queen Bess and all her merry court, listen all to our song.
Her name is Tina, her name is Mildred, and my name is Orlando.
Wherever we go, up high or down, those songs we sing Orlando. How delightful! Do you have anything to add, Dr. Tye?
Fa la la 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 fa la la
Good Queen Bess and all her merry court, listen all to our song. My name is Tina, her name is Mildred, and his name is Orlando. Great Bess, rock her downfall, so they say
And now that's enough. How can you sing on a day like this one, when I am expecting the arrival of a dear friend who may have betrayed her sworn liege?
There is always time to sing, Majesty. We cannot restrain ourselves.
Do try, Dr. Ty. Major Domo, where are the witnesses I summoned?
Your Majesty, the first one is at the door waiting for your command.
Well, command.
May it please the court to welcome Henry Moore.
Ah, Mr. Moore, I am glad that thou consented to my summons to come to court today.
It is a real honor, sir. Your Grace. Your Eminence? Queen.
I trust your journey was a pleasant one.
Oh, it was quite a treat to make the trip to London. It only took me 4 days to walk, and did I ever see a lot? Trees, grass, sheep, cows, trees.
What a yokel.
What's a yokel? A yokel is a bumpkin. What's a bumpkin?
Silence in the court! Mr. Moore, it is a delight to have one of our rural and loyal subjects visit the great city of London. Thou, sir, represents the English salt of the earth, the backbone of this great society.
Thank you, Queen.
But we have no time for all these pleasantries. Major Domo, read the purpose of Mr. Moore's summons to court.
Yeah, I would like to know that as well.
It is not thy place to speak yet. Someone clearly doesn't know the ways of polite society.
Mr. Henry Marston Moore, you have been summoned to the court of Elizabeth, Queen of England and Ireland, to give testimony about the actions, words, and thoughts of the Lady Countess de Winter, suspected of plotting treason against Elizabeth, Queen of England and Ireland. What do you have to say?
About what?
About the lady.
The Countess de Winter?
That is the lady, indeed.
Well, my land backs hers, and she has never been anything but kind to me. Once a week, my wife and I visit Winter Manor to sup with the lady and her daughter. Although, I have not seen her daughter for quite some time now. And I must say that her lands are well kept for, well, a woman.
How quaint.
And on those days when thou dined with the Countess, didst thou ever discuss the Queen?
You mean, did we discuss you, Queen?
Dost thou see another queen here?
Yes, of course. Yes, the lady talked about you, Queen.
And what did she say?
Well, she talked about your Majesty's excellent fashion sense. She is a woman, so she cares about such things. As a man, I care more about the price of wool and corn and the state of a nation.
How kind of the Countess to be so concerned with the state of my wardrobe.
But did the Countess never express a word against the Queen?
Never.
She never expressed any doubt about the Queen's ability to rule, or her attitude as Supreme Governor of this great nation?
Again, never. The Countess would never say such things.
But dost thou think she thinks such things?
Never.
Never?
Well,
Aha!
What hidden thoughts does the Countess de Winter harbor against
Moore. She worries, she is concerned about, well, Your Majesty is a woman!
Queen Elizabeth is a woman. A lady is she, a lady is she, shock, horror, panic, thus the land of jolly is she, jolly is she, shock, horror, panic, thus the land of jolly is she, jolly is she, shock,
Well, surely the nation of England and Ireland should be ruled by a man.
A man?
Yes, Queen.
And thou sayest that the Countess de Winter believes this?
I believe so, Queen.
And what does a man have that I do not?
Well, a man has a man's brain, a man's heart.
Oh, Mr. Moore is a philosopher!
And which man, in particular, wouldst thou like to be queen?
You jest. A man would be king of England.
Oh, I thank thee for explaining, Mr. Moore. So which man should it be? My father is dead, as is my brother, and I have no sons.
Well...
And dost thou see the men in this court? Lord Andronicus, for instance?
Yes, Queen.
Thou mayst address me as Your Majesty.
Yes, Majesty, Queen.
Close enough. Lord Andronicus is just one of my advisors who uses his man's brain and man's heart to help me rule this nation. Art thou not pleased?
Yes, Queen Majesty.
Indeed, Mr. Moore, I have placed my chiefest strength and safeguard in the loyal hearts and goodwill of my subjects. And therefore, I am come amongst you as you see at this time, not for my own recreation and disport, but in being resolved, in the very midst and heat of this investigation, to lay down for my people and my kingdom and my God, my honor and my blood, even in the dust.
But I hope it doesn't come to that, Majesty Queen.
Silence while the Queen delivers her speech.
I know I have the body but of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king, and a king of England too. And to think foul scorn that the Countess de Winter should dare to threaten the safety of my realm, to which, rather than any dishonor, shall grow by me. I myself will take up arms. I myself will be your general, judge, and rewarder of every one of your virtues in the field. I know already, for your forwardness, you have deserved rewards and crowns, and we do assure you, in the word of a prince, they shall be duly paid you.
My king.
To be a king and wear a crown is a thing more glorious to them that see it than it is pleasant for them that bear it. For myself, I was never so much enticed with the glorious name of a king or the royal authority of a queen, as delighted that God hath made me his instrument to maintain his truth and glory and to defend his kingdom from dishonor, damage, tyranny, and oppression. But should I ascribe any of these things unto myself or my sexly weakness, I were not worthy to live, and of all, most unworthy of the mercies I have received at God's hand. But to God only and wholly all is given and ascribed.
Queen Elizabeth is a real man. A lady ain't she, a lady ain't she, joy, pleasure, laughter, fills the land of jolly is she, jolly is she, joy, pleasure, she has the land of jolly is she.
Are you the magistrate of this county? Are you the magistrate here?
Sir, answer when my master addresses you.
Ah, good day, gentlemen.
I say again, sir, are you the magistrate of this county?
Ah, yes, I am the magistrate.
We present to you 3 thieves who accosted us on our way to London.
Ah, so much crime in this world. And I am in the midst of writing a most passionate and moving love sonnet. Ah, well, I guess I must deal with these brigands.
We are not brigands, Your Honor.
We are poor, honest monks.
Yes, we are not highwaymen, no ne'er-do-wells here.
Why then have these 2 men brought you here?
It was an honest mistake, sir.
We were simply traveling the road at night and we lost our bearings.
It was awfully dark, sir, and we didn't know where we were.
So, when we saw these 2 men, we approached them peacefully and slowly.
Because we thought they could help us.
So we asked them to tell us the time. We asked them for directions to the nearest town.
And then, with no warning, they pull out their swords.
Began to attack.
When all we wanted was their money, or help.
Is this true?
Not at all, Lord Magistrate. These 3 men attacked us in the road and tried to steal our money and belongings.
It's true.
I've made my decision. You look rich, so you must be telling the truth. And I have no time to hear more testimony or to examine the scene of the crime. My love sonnet is half finished. So 3 brigands, for the crime of robbing these 2 men of their earthly possessions, and for bringing offense even against good Queen Elizabeth, ruler of these just and peaceful lands, I sentence you to death.
To death?
To death? But surely, Lord Magistrate, their crime does not require such a harsh punishment.
Well, maybe thou art right. Art thou heartily sorry for thy sins?
Oh, yes, sir.
And dost thou repent of thy misdeeds?
With all my heart.
Dost thou seek forgiveness for thy crimes?
Yes.
There now, I have been merciful, and they have repented before their deaths. They now have nothing to worry about.
So, are they still condemned to die?
Oh yes, they must die.
Could they not be lightly tortured instead? Perhaps they could be placed in the stocks, or could they be publicly shamed?
Oh no. We leave that sort of punishment to shrewish women. No. They must be punished. They must die.
But surely, Lord Magistrate, you could show mercy.
Thou speakest like a woman. Wilt thou now give me a lecture on the quality of mercy?
Well, the quality of mercy is not straight.
But falleth as the gentle rain from heaven.
But I have been merciful. I have given these men a chance to repent before their deaths.
What if I took responsibility for these men and promised that they should thieve no longer?
And who art thou to make such a promise?
Watch thy tongue, my lady, master.
Shush, Margaret. Sir, could I speak with you alone?
What is happening?
Can you hear what they're saying?
Do you have any idea what's going on?
Shush! Your lives hang in the balance.
You have all been spared on the condition that you amend your ways and promise to obey. Do you understand? I understand you're on your way to London. I would ask you to leave this this county immediately and take these 3 brigands with you. And I banish you from this county, and you return upon pain of death. Do you understand?
Thank you for your mercy, good sir.
Now, where was I? Shall I compare thee to an autumn's night? No, that's not quite right. Shall I compare thee to an autumnal day? No. Shall I compare thee to a summer's night? Ah, my crowning achievement. Perhaps I too should go to London and present this as a gift to Her Majesty. Yes, onward to London and immortal fame.
My darling,
My dearest heart,
how I long to have thee in my arms again.
how happy I am to be here with thee.
My pretty daffodil,
My intrepid lord,
my precious buttercup,
my loving honeybee,
my cuddly kitten,
my dowdy babe.
my pretty daffodil.
Thou hast already used that one.
Oh, how I would love to spend the whole day whispering sweet nothings into thy shell-like ear, dearest Rosalind. But if we are to be together forever, we must plan.
I fear we must put our plans into effect as soon as possible.
Does thy fiancé grow more bold?
He insists that I marry him tomorrow. I know he only wants me for my dowry, but I cannot protest. The queen agrees with this suit and even encourages his advances.
We must run away together.
Thou wouldst do that for me? Thou knowest that thou wouldst lose thy position in the court. Thou would end up disgraced, and thou would be disowned.
I cannot be disowned. I am the eldest son of my father, and besides, I would risk it all for the sake of thy love.
Oh, Titus.
Oh, Rosalind.
Oh, Titus.
Oh, Rosalind.
Until the time is right, we must appear in the queen's presence as usual. I will send you the word that it is safe for us to elope.
I await the moment with eager longing.
Shush, and flee away for now.
Mr. Moore, we thank thee for coming to London and telling us about the secret and heinous opinions of the Countess de Winter. She is a woman, and a powerful, wealthy one, and yet she objects to having a woman as her liege.
How unnatural!
Yes, but you are no ordinary woman, are you?
Indeed not. Lord Titus, thou hast finally arrived at court. Thou knowest that I do not like my favorites to be out of my presence for long. How was thy trip to thy country estate? Surely thine eye was not caught by some country beauty.
How could any woman draw me away from the queen's incomparable loveliness?
I see thou hast not left thy smooth tongue in the countryside, Lord Titus. Come, stand by me, as I interview the next of the neighbors of the Countess de Winter.
I am honored, my royal highness.
Lord Titus is righteous and might just be the loyal. He is subject to it, he thinks us all young and naughty, he is righteous to it, he thinks us all young and naughty. He is a naughty, he thinks us all young and naughty. He is righteous to it, he thinks us all young and naughty. He is righteous to it, he thinks us all young and naughty. He is a naughty, he thinks us all young and naughty.
Major Domo, thou mayest proceed.
May it please the court to welcome Henry Masterton.
Another Henry! Why must England be full of so many men of the same name? I believe we've talked to a barrage of Henrys today. You must be the fourth Henry of the day.
I believe it is the 5th. Is this not the 6th Henry?
You're both partly correct. Lord Georges, I believe this is Henry VIII.
Good Queen Elizabeth and the royal court, thank you for receiving me in your presence today.
Oh, a man with a little Polish.
Oh, I assure you, sir, that I am completely British.
Major Domo, shall we proceed immediately to the formalities?
Certainly, Your Majesty. Mr. Henry Masterton, you have been summoned to the court of Elizabeth, Queen of England and Ireland, to give testimony about the actions, words, and thoughts of the Lady Countess de Winter, suspected of plotting treason against Elizabeth, Queen of England and Ireland. What dost thou have to say?
Against the Countess de Winter? I'm sorry, but I thought I was summoned here for a completely different reason.
No, what reason, pray tell?
Well, as I'm sure you all know, I'm a highly successful merchant, and I've begun importing fine silks into the country. I know that silks in high demand in the court, and I expected that I was brought here to arrange a business deal.
And thou thinkest the Queen will deal with such a lowly matter personally?
There is nothing lowly about my silks.
Dost thou, Mr. Masterton, believe that my perceived interest in silks is because of my sex?
Why, no, Your Majesty. I see that the men in your court are dressed in as much silk as a woman. Why, look at the fullness of Lord Titus's sleeves, the deep lashing in Lord Dronicus's knee breeches. His stockings are of the finest silk, second only in finery to the silk I currently import from a merchant of Venice and Athens. Perhaps you've heard of him, a silk producer by the name of Timon of Athens.
Timon of Athens, that's too obscure.
My silk is indeed of the finest.
What do you think of my silk, Mr. Masterton?
Is not mine fine too? Mine is particularly silky.
The yoke of our silk is the envy of all the land. This merchant just like seven, this one so large is our naughty, and just so seven, envy of the land. This merchant just so seven, this one so large is our land. This merchant just so seven, this one so large is our land. This merchant just so seven, this envy of the land. This merchant just so seven, this one so large is our land.
Your Majesty, do we really have the time to discuss the ilk of our silk? We have much more important matters to attend to.
Indeed, Lord Titus, although thou art one of my current favorites, I do not need thee to remind me of my purpose.
Oh, of course, Your Majesty. Please forgive my imposition.
Imposition? Is Lord Titus standing in the wrong spot?
Yes, he should be standing closer to me.
Ladies, imposition means he was overstepping his bounds.
If we could return to the matter at hand, Mr. Masterton, my major domo has read the purpose of thy summons to court. How dost thou respond?
Of course, Your Majesty. What did you want me to say?
Major domo?
Mr. Henry Masterton, you have been summoned to the court of Elizabeth, Queen of England and Ireland, to give testimony about the actions, words, and thoughts of the Lady Countess de Winter, suspected of plotting treason against Elizabeth, Queen of England and Ireland. What dost thou have to say?
Your Majesty, I'd be able to read it by memory by now.
Your Majesty, I love and fear you.
As thou shouldst.
Carry on, Masterton. Why exactly dost thou love and fear me?
Well, Your Majesty, you have a lovely gown.
The gown again? Dost thou not love and fear me for my majesty, my God-given power and responsibility, my good governance of this fair isle, my justice, my mercy, and of course, my youthful beauty?
Well, yes, Your Majesty, it's just your gown.
I see you're incorrigible, Mr. Masterton.
Incorrigible? Incorrigible? Incorrigible?
I shall explain later.
Your Majesty, I love and fear you.
We have already established that, so crack on.
But the Countess de Winter is my closest neighbor and my best customer. She regularly invites my wife and I to dine with her, and she and her daughter often order large swaths of my best silks.
Well, I am your queen, and I command thee to speak.
Your Majesty, she is my neighbor, my friend, my customer.
I see. Although I loathe thy disobedience to thy liege, I admire thy loyalty to the Countess. But thou mentioned her daughter. Didst thou know that she is here at court?
At court? But why? Rosalind detests the city.
I managed to persuade her to join me as a lady-in-waiting.
But she is thy prisoner, a pawn to make sure the Countess de Winter comes to court as thou hast demanded.
I would not put it so crassly, of course, but yes.
And is she well, my lady? Has she been mistreated?
Now thou hast gone too far, Mr. Masterton. Rosalind is my esteemed guest, and no harm will come to her while she is in my home. Major Domo, summon the Lady Rosalind.
Your Majesty,
Rosalind, look who has come to court.
Mr. Masterton, how lovely to see a friendly face at home. Is all well with you and your wife?
Indeed, yes. Lady Rosalind.
Mr. Moore, you are here as well. What joy.
And are you well, my lady? Has the court been kind to you?
Yes, yes, of course she is well. Is her beloved fiancé not here with her?
Fiancé?
I have arranged a highly advantageous wedding of the Lady Rosalind to one of my most trusted courtiers, Lord Dronicus.
Lord Dronicus?
My dear, thou art looking particularly wealthy, well today.
Thank you for the kind compliment, sir.
Anything for my beloved fiancée.
And now, Mr. Masterton, thou hast seen that the Lady Rosalind is happy, healthy, and about to be married to the love of her life. Wilt thou speak?
And if I do not?
Thou wouldst not want the Lady Rosalind to be any less happy or healthy, wouldst thou?
I am sure that Mr. Masterton will obey your just and merciful command, Your Majesty.
I see that I have no choice. I will speak. I have nothing to say.
What nonsense is this?
I have never heard the Countess de Winter say anything against Your Majesty or against England. She is the very definition of a faithful subject.
She has never said anything about my inability to rule because I am a woman.
Ridiculous. She is a woman herself, and a powerful one, although nowhere near as powerful as Your Majesty.
But she has no complaints against the Queen?
Nothing that she has said, Your Eminence.
Aha! Then you suspect that she has treasonous thoughts!
I don't know why thou art so eager to prove the Countess guilty, Lord Dronicus. If the Countess is a traitor, all her lands and goods will be seized, leaving nothing for her daughter, thy fiancée.
Yes, of course, but I respect Lady Rosalind for other qualities as well, not just for her riches. But how true.
For which of my other qualities do you cherish me, Lord Dronicus?
Well, for the color of thy hair, the whiteness of thy brow, the moistness of thine eyes, straight line of thy nose, the blush in thy cheeks, the pinkness of thy lips, the presence of all thy teeth, sweet odor of thy breath, the roundliness of thy chin, and the shapeliness of the rest of thee.
How kind.
Hast thou nothing to say of her courage, her kindness, her sweet nature?
Oh yes, those as well. I'm sure she'll be an excellent wife and mother.
Unlike the Queen.
What? Didst I hear thee say, Masterton?
Did I speak, Your Majesty?
Repeat your words immediately, Masterton, for all to hear.
I just said that Your Majesty is neither wife nor mother.
And what of it?
Well, as Your Majesty has no children, who will take over the throne for Your Majesty when Your Majesty dies? May the day never come.
Your Majesty, Your Majesty.
I fear for the future of England, my Queen. I know that you have many suitors, and that all men love you, but still you do not marry. And without an heir, England could once again be thrown into turmoil as it was when the throne passed from your esteemed father to Edward, to Mary, and thence to you. Think about the effect on business and trade.
Well, thou art partly correct, Mr. Masterton. I do have many, many suitors.
And all men love you, your majesty. But surely your majesty does not so think of children.
And why not?
Because your majesty is so
Yes?
busy.
With important matters of state.
How true, Titus and Rosalind. Why, if I were to yield to any of my many, many suitors, I am sure that our love would be heralded in song, myth, and poem, like that of Antony and Cleopatra, Romeo and Juliet, Troilus and Cressida. But the kingdom needs a ruler. Mr. Masterton, has the Countess spoken of this matter with thee?
Not in so many words, perhaps, but I see that she is often distraught over the matter.
I never heard my mother speak of the Queen's childless state. The Countess, too, has no male heir.
I'm sure she'll be glad to pass the fortunes on to her son-in-law. Oh, and I too have never heard the Countess speak a word against the Queen.
You have not met my mother.
I have.
Mr. Masterton, I am glad that thou art concerned for the future of England, but I do have an heir, James, King of Scotland.
James? What does he know of trade? He will play at being King of England.
I am sure there will be no Scottish plague with James. He is a capable ruler.
But surely a child of your majesty's own beginning would be a much better heir.
I see I will have to explain to you what I've explained to the court and the parliament in the past. I give you all a hearty thanks for the good zeal and loving care you seem to have, as well towards me as to the whole state of your country. I may say unto you that, from my many years of understanding. Since I first had consideration of myself to be born a servitor of Almighty God, I happily chose this kind of life in which I yet lead, which have hitherto best contented myself, and I trust have been most acceptable to God. So constant have I always continued in this determination, although my youth and words may seem to some hardly to agree together. Yet, is it most true that at this day I stand free from any other meaning either I have had in times past or have at this present, with which trade of life I am so thoroughly acquainted that I trust God, who hath hitherto therein preserved and led me by the hand, will not now of his goodness suffer me to go alone.
I have heard her say that before, many times, but I have no idea what it means. Her Majesty has been chosen by God to rule the country. She does not want to marry, because marriage and children would distract her from her duties to England. Her role as wife and mother would detract her from her role as queen.
As king. Isn't that what I said?
The Queen is our leader, so valiant and so brave. And since she loves us, she won't see our bodies sing a hey, naughty, hey, naughty, naughty, hey, naughty, naughty, hey, naughty, naughty. And since she loves us, she won't see our bodies and so brave. And since she loves us, she won't see our bodies sing a hey, naughty, naughty, hey, naughty, naughty, hey, naughty, naughty, hey, naughty, naughty, hey, naughty,
But does not your majesty desire love?
All love me, but I dare not show my love in return. I grieve and dare not show my discontent. I love and yet am forced to seem to hate. I do, yet dare not say I ever meant. I seem stark mute, but inwardly do prate. I am not. I freeze and yet am burned, since from myself another self I turned. Some gentler passion slide into my mind, for I am soft and made of melting snow. Or be more cruel, love, and be so kind, let me or float or sink, be high or low, or let me live with some more sweet content, or die, and so forget with love ere.
How beautiful, my queen.
Beautiful? It's so sad!
She has been melancholy ever since the Duke of Anjou, one of her suitors, has left the court.
I see that being Queen
King!
of England is a heavy responsibility with pain and sorrow attendant upon it.
Luckily, I am up to the task.
Oh yes, Your Majesty. You have kept trade stable and all the merchants are thriving.
I thank thee, I am sure.
I am sure that the Countess de Winter is satisfied with your painful and heroic decision to stay unwed for the sake of the nation.
See, Your Majesty, the Countess is a loyal subject after all.
We shall see. We still have more witnesses to hear from. But I am weary. Attendants, attend me.
My angel,
I fear for my mother.
I fear for us. Andronicus becomes bolder in his desire for thee and thy fortune.
How can I marry anyone but thee?
My darling, my fair one, my precious buttercup.
No time for all of that. What about the plan?
We shall escape immediately while the queen is resting.
Are all the arrangements made?
Dost thou doubt me, dear one?
I fear the wrath of the queen.
I shall go to the stables and command our horses to be saddled. Gather thy belongings and meet me there as soon as you can.
How shall we escape the queen?
My horses are fleet of foot.
How shall we foil the plans of Lord Andronicus?
Once we are wed, there is nothing he can do.
And how shall we save my mother?
We will worry about that after we marry.
O Titus, I will elope with thee, but my fears abound.
Fear not, my dainty daffodil. I will care for thee. I am off to the stables. Join me soon.
O fortune, how thy restless, wavering state hath fraught with cares my troubled wit. When is this present prison whither fate hath borne me, and the joys I quit? Thou causest the guilty to be loosed from bands, or with the innocents enclosed, causing the guiltless to be straight reserved, and freeing those that death had well deserved. But by her envy can be nothing wrong, so God said to my foes, all may love.
Make haste, Rosalind. Go.
I smell a rat! Also, I fear my soon-to-be bride shall soon escape my clutches. I must follow them and make sure the wedding never happens. But I must proceed quietly if I'm to avoid the wrath of the queen, maintain my position in court, and keep the riches of Rosalind. And Lord Titus, thou shalt meet thine end. Now onward! Quietly. Robin, get me my mare.
I've been doing your business like you told me to, Max.
Titus and Rosalind are getting farther and farther away. Where's my horse?
Your horse?
Yes, my horse. I told thee to bring my horse.
You didn't know such thing, my lord.
Of course I did not, don't.
No, you told me to bring the mayor.
What?
And that is what took me so long, you see. The mayor just would not be roused from his bed at this time of night. I even woke him gently with my music, playing my cymbals. Leaning out his window, the mayor screamed at me to leave.
Tell me to bring the mayor. Why would I want the mayor?
Robin, bring me my mare, you said.
Yes, my mare, my female horse.
Should have just said something, Master.
We have no time anymore to fetch her. We'll just have to go on foot from here and hope we catch up to those two.
On foot? Whose feet?
Our feet, of course.
What are you going to do with my feet?
Nothing. Thou will walk on thine feet, and I will walk on mine.
Should have just said so, Master. I was getting quite worried there.
Silence, fool. Follow me.
And where are we going?
Wherever Titus and Rosalind go.
And where are they going?
How should I No.
Do they know where they're going?
I presume they do. Why are you asking?
Well, the mayor wanted to know where I was going to take you.
Another word about the mayor, and I'll cuff thee.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thou wouldst thank me for cuffing me?
Oh, yes, sir.
I know you were asking this, but why wouldst thou thank me for cuffing me?
Because my shirt is so old, sir.
And what does thy shirt have to do with anything?
Well, it would benefit from new sleeves, sir.
I see.
So yes, sir, please provide me with new cups.
Let's smoke in silence.
But we're in the woods.
Silence!
No, sir, we're in the woods.
No, be quiet, rascal. I hear someone approaching. Let us hide ourselves.
Don't hide me. I don't deserve it.
We there yet?
Can't take much more of this walking.
Where are we even going?
Indeed, my lady, what are we to do with these 3 rows? Are we really bringing them all the way to London?
No. I fear we cannot watch them constantly for the rest of the journey. I also fear that these men may fall in with a bad crowd if they reach the city.
So what shall we do?
Men, we have heard you tell the magistrate that you repent of your wicked ways. Is this true?
We are ever so sorry for our offenses.
You can be sure that we are reformed men.
Yes, what they said.
Can we trust you? Then you are hereby released from bondage. From now on, turn your attention to charity to all people. Do good to all.
Farewell.
Have they gone? Go check.
I think we're safe.
But now what do we do? How do we show charity?
How do they do good to all?
Look! A man and a woman are approaching. What do we do?
Should we show charity to them?
Or do good to them?
Can't we just hide for now and see what they do?
Yeah, let's do that.
How much longer is our journey? It's too bad our horses died along the road.
We need to put distance between ourselves and the Queen.
Oh, of course, Buttercup. Every weary step is a joy because I am in thy presence.
Oh, Titus.
Oh, Rosalind.
Oh, Titus.
Oh, Rosalind. And we must keep thee away from that fortune hunter, Lord Dronicus.
He shall have neither my person nor my wealth.
Not as long as I breathe and bear a sword.
Did you hear that?
She has wealth.
But he has a sword.
How shall we show charity to them?
I'd like to show charity
To us? How wilt thou do that?
by giving you some of her fortune.
And I will show charity to the both of you by saving you from his sword.
And I shall do good by accepting your worthy gifts.
Didst thou hear noise?
Dost thou hear my heart beating loudly in my chest?
Oh, Titus.
Oh, Rosalind.
No, it sounds like whispering.
Well, the forest is full of sounds, my love.
Thou art right. Of course. Let's carry on.
It looks like they're about to leave.
What should we do?
We are brigands, are we not?
You shall not lay a hand on my beloved.
You're too late to prevent that, I'm afraid.
And what do you think we want from you?
Your fortune, of course.
What fortune?
Well, yours.
Thou shalt give it to us. Now!
But she has no fortune.
No, not yet, at least.
Turn out their pockets.
Get off.
There's no fortune. Just a pair of
She will inherit her mother's estate when her mother dies.
But even then, I will not have the full amount under my control before I am 30 years old. For that, I will receive an allowance, and the money will be controlled by a solicitor.
And if she marries, her husband will receive the money.
Wait, so thou dost not have a fortune?
And thou hast nothing to give us now.
Well, no.
If you could excuse us a moment, my fellow brigands and I must discuss the matter.
What do we do?
Maybe we should just kill them.
She has no money for us.
Not yet, at least.
But her mother has money.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
We turn from a life of crime and devote ourselves to good deeds and giving alms to the church?
No!
We hold them for ransom.
And demand that her mother pay for their return.
Ah, yes, let's do that instead.
You cannot give us a fortune, you will have to give us yourselves.
I would rather die than suffer a fate worse than death.
Well, that makes sense, of course, but there's no need for such dramatics.
We're just gonna hold you for ransom until your mother pays for your return.
And now, come with us to our evil lair.
Peace,
Be quiet, woman.
Did you see that, Master?
Of course I did.
Why did the thief say that they had Pericles in their pockets?
Pericles? They had a pair of keys.
I wondered why the thief said they had Pericles in their pockets.
Silence, fool. Ignore the pocket and the keys. The important thing is that Titus and Rosalind have been abducted.
What should we do?
Why, rescue them, of course. And if, say, during the rescue, Lord Titus were accidentally killed, that would be a shame.
Oh, yes, sir, for you're such a lovely man.
No, fool, we want him dead.
Lady Rosalind wouldn't like that.
She will be so grateful to her rescuer and so blind for her grief for Titus that she will naturally fall into my arms and be married.
I don't think she would be married.
Of course she would. Her beloved Titus is dead, and who does she have to turn to? Why, the man that saved her from her evil kidnappers.
That is true, Lord, but I still don't think she would be married.
What do I care for her happiness? I just want her to marry me. Then, my mother will die in a strange and tragic accident, and I will have the estate. Then, Rosalind, in grief for her mother, will throw herself on the castle ramparts, and all of her wealth will be mine.
How do you know these accidents will happen?
They will not be accidents, fool.
They won't?
Of course not!
Oh, I see. Great plan, Master.
Of course, but I can't dirty my hands with any of this work. We need an accomplice.
How about those two men we saw earlier? They clearly defeated the brigands before.
For once, actually have a good idea. Let's find them immediately.
Aren't we supposed to call her Master?
Surely, I don't need to call her Master when no one else is about in the forest. And besides, who would ever think of women dressing as men and running about through the woods?
You never know who might be listening.
Well, you aren't quite right, my assistant, my apprentice. You, though, must always call me that. Even when the forest appears, we cannot be too careful. You know what might happen if anyone catches 3 women at night when the forest is selling poisons.
You mean they might?
That's right! They might call us witches.
Oh, my sainted aunts!
Shush, shush, shush. We must not give any offense. We are honest men. Simply peddlers of rare and deadly poisons.
Poisons we have in short supply.
Are we going to gather deadly nightshade and toad full of forest tonight?
We could, but the light is low and I cannot tell one plant from another by only the moon's rays. Let's just gather any leaf or mushroom that appears with us. And gather some of the watch. There's a peddler just there to our fences.
Master, I am shocked. Do you mean to tell us that your poisons are not really poisons at all?
Are we just living alive?
Making poison is just so much toil and trouble.
But people believe us.
And they pay good money for your poisons.
My apprentice and my assistant to my apprentice, I promised you that I will teach you my trade. Well, this is it. If we tell people they are purchasing poison, they will believe it. Essentially, any strange leaf, dirty powder, or oily substance will do. And besides, if our customers believe they are purchasing poison, who are we to say that what they purchase will not work as poison for them?
Being a poison peddler is much easier than I thought.
I was sure we would be hovering over a cauldron watching it burn and bubble.
Think of it this way, our job is not to persuade people to buy poison. It's to persuade them that they are buying poison. Now, look around and find me something to sell.
Look, Master, I found some iron newts.
I could have sworn this is toad frog.
And behold, wool of bat and tongue of dove.
Adder's fork.
Blindworm sting.
You have learned well. Now that our peddler's pouches are full, let us be on our way. Surely someone will need poison this night.
What shall we say when we reach the court? We shall tell the truth, of course. Are you sure that's wise? What is the worst that could happen to us? Well, we could be branded traitors, and then literally branded. They could condemn us to be tortured until we're almost dead, pull our arms and our legs till they pop out of their sockets, and cut off our heads, and put them on stakes at the city gate, as a warning to others not to betray the state. Margaret, how gruesome! We live in dangerous times. I hear someone approaching. Be ready.
Poisons, get your poisons here.
Best quality poison.
Yes. What they said.
You there, what do you want?
I am an honest peddler, I am. I'm out at night because I cannot sell my wares during the day.
What could you sell that must be sold at night?
Why? The best poison money can buy.
Poisons?
Oh yes! Is your house plagued with rats? Of course it is. We can sell you poison to kill them off right quick.
Is your neighbor's mangy cur stealing your chickens? Add a drop of this to his feet, and that mangy cur will be no more.
How about your neighbor? Is he building fences on your side of the property? Does he laugh too loudly? Does he have a beautiful wife? Add a drop of this to his glass, and your neighbor will never bother you again.
What can I interest you, gentlemen? Some belladonna, a tincture of hemlock? How about this arrowroot one? All the way from the deepest torrent. I have poisons here you can't buy anywhere else in England.
Be gone, sir. Only the weak and cowardly need poisons. We have our swords and our wits.
Oh, I didn't say that. If you don't like oil arrowroot, how about this freshly squeezed adder's venom? This one was a particular favor to Queen Cleopatra herself.
Be gone!
All right, but you'll never see such high-quality poisons again I assure you.
And we hope we do not be off with you, scoundrel.
Sir.
told thee! We don't want any of thy wares!
I come not to sell anything, but to beseech your help.
Our help? What concerns you, sir?
My fiancée was captured by brigands, and I was injured trying to save her. They have her now, and I worry what will happen to her.
Your fiancée, would you call her a damsel?
I wouldn't call her a damsel, but that's because I don't know what that is.
She is the dearest damsel in all of England.
Of course we will save your damsel in distress. Do you know where she is?
Yes, but first, are you sure? She was captured by 4 brigands.
4, Master? I thought there were only 3 of
Oh no, there were 4. One seems to have a special affection for her. He's dressed quite well, almost like a courtier. I suspect he dresses like that to confuse or trick unsuspecting passengers. I'm so very distressed. The 4th one seems like the most dangerous one.
Well, between us, we can defeat more than 4 men easily.
But you're sure?
Of course. Lead us to your damsel in distress.
Because I have an idea. Why don't you dip your swords in this poison, which I just purchased from an honest traveling peddler? That way, your swords need only nick the brigands, and my darling can be saved.
What an excellent idea!
But poison?
Of course. We cannot be too careful. Sirs, lead on.
Of course. But above all, be sure to kill the 4th well-dressed brigand. Only if he's dead can my damsel in distress be saved.
Our ransom awaits. From the look of their attire, we're sure to be rich.
I just want them gone. If I hear one more, oh Titus, oh Rosalind, I think I'm gonna be sick.
Agreed. Yeah, but how do we request the ransom?
We'll have to write a note.
Excellent idea. Can neither of you two write?
I can't.
Neither can I.
Perhaps we can force one of the lovebirds to write it.
Excellent idea.
And how do we get the note to her mother?
By registered mail? What?
I don't know what that is.
One of us will have to deliver it.
Not I.
And I should stay here to keep an eye on the captives.
I guess that leaves the task to thee.
Why do I have to do it?
Because...
Release your captive! You do not hear 4 men! Stand and fight!
Not them again!
Just our luck.
Who are they again?
Well, we might as well fight them.
Again, do we know these people?
We'll defeat them this time, surely.
Yes, go with those 3 men. It's the 4th one you want.
And now for the 4th villain.
There he is. Kill him! Kill him! No! I'm no brigand. He lies. He's a deceiver.
He's my beloved!
Oh, clearly she's fallen in love with the captor. Stockholm syndrome, that's what it is. I'm a captive as well. What deceit, what villainy, what duplicity, what chicanery.
Chicanery?
Don't distract me, Robin. I must see the 4th villain dead.
And now you're my captive, my lord.
What? No! Kill him!
What do I do, master? Cut his bonds and hers too.
What? No! You must kill Lord Titus so that my plans come to fruition!
Lord Titus?
Plans? Oh, he means his plans to marry the Lady Rosalind. She's the captain right over here. Inherit her fortune, kill her mother, and then kill her as well.
What a villain! You make me sick, sir.
Who could even imagine doing something so heinous?
Shame, shame, shame!
Silence! My lady, are you unharmed?
Yes, thank you.
Rosalind, my love, I was so worried.
As was I.
Oh, Rosalind.
Oh, Titus.
There's no time for all that. We must carry on to London. Our appointment will not wait.
And what do we do with this lot?
We'll bring them with us. Let's sort this out in London.
My court seems somewhat reduced of late. Where are the Lady Rosalind, the Lord Titus, and Lord Dronicus?
We know not, my lady.
With Lord Dronicus gone, who will explain things to us?
I miss Lord Titus already.
How could anybody bear to be out of the king's presence?
Perhaps they are out seeking new trade.
Major Domo, make enquiries about their whereabouts. No one leaves my court without my knowledge and permission. The Countess de Winter, her daughter Rosalind, and my two trusted courtiers. What does this mean? The doubt of future foes exiles my present joy, and wit me warns to shun such sins as threat to mine annoy. For falsehood now doth flow, and subjects' fate doth ebb, which would not be if reason ruled and wisdom weaved a web. But clouds of joys untried do cloak aspiring minds, and turn to rain of late repentant change course of winds. The top of hope supposed, the root of rue shall be, and fruitless all their grafted guile as shortly ye shall see. The dazzled eyes with pride which great ambition blinds shall be unsealed by worthy wights whose foresight falsehood finds. The daughter of debate, which discord eye doth sow, shall reap no gain where former rule still peace hath taught to know. No foreign binged wight shall anchor in this port. This realm brooks not seditious sex, let them elsewhere resort. My rusty sword through rest shall find its edge employ to pull their tops which seek such change or gape for future joy.
Bravo, my queen.
How lovely.
What amazing rhyming.
I can do without your compliments. Major Domo, hast thou executed thine errands?
I was transported by your poetry, your majesty. I summon Reverend Herbert into thy presence.
Your Majesty, it is a pleasure to be in your presence. You look as lovely as your portraits.
At last, a man of taste and discernment. Thou art welcome to the court, Reverend.
Many thanks, Your Grace, but why exactly am I here?
Major Domo, thou knowest what to do.
Reverend Herbert, you have been summoned to the court of Elizabeth, Queen of England and Ireland, to give testimony about the actions, words, and thoughts of the Lady Countess de Winter, suspected of plotting treason against Elizabeth, Queen of England and Ireland. What do you have to say?
Your Majesty, I am in a bit of a difficult position.
And how is that, Reverend Herbert?
The Countess de Winter is my patron, Your Grace. She pays my salary and I have a home and congregation thanks to her.
And who is the Countess de Winter's patron, sir?
You, of course.
Indeed.
I see I have no choice but to speak. The Countess de Winter is indeed plotting treason against you, my queen. She is very upset with Your Majesty's reforms of the Church. She thinks that they are entirely insufficient and that you are leading the Church of England back to the Roman Catholic heresy.
Is that so? And has she spoken of her plots in your hearing?
Well, no, Your Grace, but I am sure she shares my views.
And you, Reverend Herbert, disapprove of my reforms?
Can we not return to the times of your esteemed brother Edward, my lady? You have compromised, but I fear you have compromised too much.
Reverend, Reverend, Herbert is so grateful,
Now is not the time for your incessant singing! Reverend Herbert, I see I will have to explain to you what I've explained in the past to those who doubt me. Indeed, I fancy myself something of an expert on theology.
Your Majesty, please.
We have heard this speech so many times. Can we please just all agree that you are a theologian and skip the speech?
Silence, or I shall marry you all off to merchants from Windsor.
Ooh, how lovely.
We can be married and married.
We could be the merry wives of Windsor.
Attendants, you go too far. and for that I shall not stint on my recitation. One thing I may not overskip, religion, the grounds on which all other matters ought to take root, and, when corrupted, may mar all the tree. When there are those who seek to find negligence within the order of the clergy, such a slander is made of myself through such acts. I am said to have many studies, but most philosophical, and I suppose few professors have read more on the order of the clergy than I, for I am not so simple that I understand not, nor so forgetful that I remember not. And through my many studies, I hope that God's book hath continually been at the forefront of my mind. For I see many overbold with God Almighty, making many false assumptions with his blessed will, and this audacity is so great that I shall not bear it.
Your Majesty, I'm in awe. I did not know that you're so well versed in matters of theology. But why have you not applied this knowledge to more comprehensive reforms of the Church?
Because, Reverend Herbert, I do not wish to see any more of my subjects dead. My father killed many for his reformation, as did my brother, and then my sister Mary did the same, all in the name of upholding the Church. Well, I am not afraid to kill, but I also want my nation to heal after many years of bloodshed and suspicion. So for now, Reverend Herbert, we must have peace, even if we cannot have truth.
I am a mere theologian, Your Grace, and these matters of state are beyond my comprehension.
Then leave the ruling of the nation to me.
Reverend, Reverend, others as much wisdom, others wisdom, others wisdom, others as much wisdom, others as much wisdom,
he'll keep his head.
Well sung.
But, Your Majesty, I am sure that religion is not the cause for the Countess de Winter's discontent. She wrongly believes that England should not be ruled by a woman.
I disagree, Your Majesty. She clearly has a mistaken idea that you should be married, although of course you're married to the nation.
We must await the arrival of the woman herself. What is the meaning of this? Rosalind? Where hast thou been? Titus? Dronicus? What is the meaning of this? Who are these rascals with thee?
Your Majesty, I can explain all. He can explain that he's a murderer. I haven't murdered anyone yet.
He tried to kill Lord Titus.
I most certainly did not. I wanted this man to kill him.
My master saw right through your schemes, right from the beginning.
Why must my court be plagued with constant bickering? You, sir, seem to have some knowledge and control over these others. Speak immediately. Who art thou, and what dost thou mean by entering my court in this manner?
Does your majesty not know, good dearest friend?
I once had a dear friend by the name of the Countess de Winter, but she is a friend to me no longer.
Are you sure, your majesty?
Countess?
Mama!
That is thy mother!
And Margaret, my trusted companion, is with me as well.
I have much to ask thee, Countess, but first, let us understand why you have brought this rabble to my court.
Margaret, thou wert present for the whole adventure. Recount our story to the court.
The facts are these. These three men tried twice to defraud innocent travelers of all their worldly goods. They repented not, so we brought them with us to face judgment in London.
And what are their names?
I'm called Othello, and my name is Coriolanus.
Corio what?
You heard me.
I dare not say my name. It's so unusual, out of the ordinary, and odd.
Out with it.
I am known as
Hamlet.
What is your sorry name?
Ruffians, your queen commands you to go forth and steal no longer. Your felonious ways are behind you. Shall you obey?
Your Majesty, we've already tried that, but the thieves continue to re-thieve.
They shall obey me. Am I not a beloved queen?
Do not forget about this villain, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, I've done nothing wrong.
Thou hast condemned thyself with thine own mouth, Lord Dronicus. Besides, I was growing tired of thy presence at court. Thou art henceforth banished to thy country estate.
I shall obey Your Majesty. My fiancé and I shall exit the court at once.
Oh, Titus!
Oh, Rosalind,
Surely you cannot still have my hand in marriage.
I shall never allow it.
What is the meaning of this?
They never stop, Your Majesty.
Lord Titus, dost thou love the Lady Rosalind?
With all my heart.
Lady Rosalind? Dost thou love the Lord Titus? Oh, yes, Your Majesty.
We would like nothing more than to be wed.
How lovely. But I forbid it! Lord Titus, thou art one of my favorites at court. Thou must love only me, not some young, artless damsel. Thou shalt never be married. But, Your Majesty!
We're in love.
I agree, Rosalind. I do not know this Lord Titus, one who cannot even save me from a mere 3 brigands, and is yet asking for thy hand.
Countess de Winter, let me introduce myself. I am Lord Titus, and I would like to marry your daughter.
There shall be time for all that later. But first, have you all forgotten why I summoned the Countess de Winter to court today? She has been suspected of plotting against me, and these 3 men have proven her vile objections to my rule.
Did your Majesty not say, as a young girl, much suspected by me, nothing proved can be?
Yes, I used my diamond ring to write that on my prison in Woodstock when I was merely a young princess. But my suspicions at that time were correct. Plots and schemes against me abounded. How am I to know that the same is not true now?
No crooked leg, no bleared eye, no part deformed out of kind, nor yet so ugly half can be as the inward suspicious mind.
Again, you use my own words against me?
And what could my neighbors have possibly said?
I'm sorry, milady, but I told the Queen about your misguided belief that England should not be ruled by a woman.
What? I'm a woman. Do I not rule my own lands and estates?
Yes, but the Queen is no ordinary woman. She has the heart and stomach of a man.
The Countess has never objected to the Queen's womanly countenance. No. She is upset that the Queen has not yet married.
My lady has never said such a thing.
Saying and thinking are 2 different things. And besides, the Countess should know better. The Queen is married to her loyal and loving subjects.
You two are speaking nonsense. The Countess de Winter is angry because the Queen has returned the church to the true Protestant way.
I think I know the lady's mind best.
As her trusted merchant and purveyor of fine goods, surely I know her best.
Nonsense! I'm her spiritual advisor, so if anyone wants to know her best, it is I.
Perhaps my mother can speak for herself.
Countess, I must ask thee directly. Art thou unhappy with my rule?
Yes.
Aha! Art thou angry that a woman rules the nation of England?
No, Your Majesty.
Then, thou demandest that I marry.
Hardly, Your Majesty.
That thou rebellest against my rule of the church?
No, Highness.
So then, what is it? What could it be that causes thee to rebel against thy friend, thy sovereign, thy beloved queen?
My queen, you know that I admire you in all things, and I try to mirror my own rule after your own. But there is one thing that I do not admire. Your love of the theater.
The theater? Play acting?
Yes, Your Majesty.
I completely understand your objections, Countess. Or may I call you Mother?
Thou mayest not.
Plays are causing the breakdown of society.
Instead of seeing great men and valiant acts in plays, we see fools and criminals. Is that who we are to imitate?
Yes,
down, master. You are forced to kneel.
And the theater encourages lascivious behavior. Why, I've even seen kissing on stage.
And sometimes the lowliest of actors will wear the finest of cloth. How are we to distinguish between poor and rich, humble and noble, if even the meanest of actors wear the finest of cloth?
I've even heard that there's brawling on stage, fisticuffs, sword fights.
How terrible. It's no wonder society's going downhill.
Shame. I like the theater when I see a tragedy. They're so noble, so inspiring, so full of honorable deaths.
But now the fashion is all for comedies and farces. How ridiculous, so much laughter, music, and singing.
But I do like to see a good romance on stage.
Oh, Titus.
Oh, Rosie.
Countess! I object to thy objection of the theater. I find it amusing.
Of course it's amusing. I have no trouble with comedies, with romance, with play sword fights, with kissing, and with fools.
So then what is the problem?
Plays are a danger to you, my queen. In theaters, people of all stations gather together in large groups. They talk to each other. They discuss political matters, and they foment rebellion.
Foment?
That's right, foment.
Okay, I understood kissing, but I did not understand foment.
Should we ask Robin to explain?
Maybe not.
If a rebellion is to come from anywhere, it's from the mob that quit work in the afternoon and go to watch plays. When people meet in large groups, nothing good can come from it.
Well, Mother, I have no interest in large groups. I only want to be with one person.
Oh, Titus.
Oh, Rosie!
Your Majesty! A group of citizens seek admittance to the court.
What a relief. Let them in.
I have come to see the Queen.
Magistrate, what brings you here?
Ah, Your Majesty, what joy to be in your presence.
Magistrate, why have you brought these peddlers with you?
I met them on the road, and I thought the more the merrier.
No! The more people, the more chance of insurrection and rebellion.
I have a poem to present to you.
I have no time for poetry. I have a bunch of crazed singers, attendants that know not when to be silent, a traitorous lord, a robin, a young couple gripped in the throes of love, and 3 rapscallions cluttering in my court. And why do people continue to enter my court in threes?
Yes, like us 3 witnesses. False witnesses. Don't forget your one friend.
Yes, one friend.
But, Your Majesty, shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
Bother me not. My friend and I are sharing a moment here.
How lovely!
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Oh, I know I am.
I'm ready.